on since January 1, and I want to thank you.
Commissioner Forsman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, Commissioner Forsman and Sweeney have their hand up, and I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Just so that it's said, is that, you know, that Commissioner Crone, our Attorney Ford, and I had a long talk yesterday on this issue. And one of the, you know, if we're looking at press and being beat up in the press, I think I've gotten my fair share there, and I don't mind. I mean, I got big shoulders, but that said, is that I agreed with Commissioner Crone and Attorney Ford that for the next month and possibly the rest of my life, I'm going to try to take and put this issue of the these two cases of sexual harassment behind me and not talk about them. And I have talked about them. They've been my opinions. I've had a confidential memo to our affirmative action officer that the attorney has reviewed, and I think they are the only two, I believe, that have reviewed it. And in regard to that, but all of those things said is that I basically have told myself that until November 1st, 1 month, I'm not going to talk about the two issues behind us, and we're going to move forward. I did, if you noticed, the dark classes have been off for about 3 weeks now, and because I do want to move forward. Now, I told Attorney Ford, I said, well, you know, I'll do that if these people get off my back on the in the editorial columns and stuff like that. And she said, well, I can't control it, and she can't, and I don't care. Like I said, I got big shoulders. Whatever, you know, they spell my name right, put commissioner in front of it, it works fine. If I ever run for election again, people won't remember 6 weeks before the election, you know, they'll just remember your name, that's all that counts. That's politics. All of that said is that, so from me, you will hear no more about these two complainants unless at the end of this month there has not been at least somewhat of a subsiding of these two issues. I think these two issues have gone on long enough. I think they've gone on since publicly since probably February, and it's time. It's time to move on. I think that, and I'm ready to make that move. And I think that this board should. We have other issues. We are going to be dealing with that sexual harassment policy that we want to develop for our elected officials, and I think this board will do its diligence with that. Certainly, I mean, we are going to look at what we do, what other counties are doing with their elected officials, and I think that all of those things said is that I think this board is going to take this very seriously. I've heard from every board member, but I do think it's time to move on past these two complaints that we had. Obviously, I've made, you know, my opinions, and that's the key word, my opinions known to anyone that asks me. But I, from this point on, am not even going to offer those opinions, at least for a month. So that said, Mr. Chair, Attorney Ford, County Board, that's the way that I feel about it, and I will keep my promise till November 1st. Thank you.